Hey, yo. Oh my God.
Homeless person.
Fellas, how many times have you had that meme where guys are like, I started going to the gym to get girls, and all I've been getting is compliments from guys time and time again. It's always the bros who are always like, your physique's looking nice, bro. You look good, bro. And also, I think that's why I've never been into like the whole bodybuilding, especially like the competition part of it. Because it seems like it's just aesthetics. It's just like the male gaze only, and they don't really attract bitches, you know? It's not like Thor, when Thor takes his shirt off and you're in the cinema and all the girls are like, ooh, and you're like, damn.
Hey, yo. Oh my God.
Homeless person.
It's not like that. So, yeah, fellas, I really thought it'd be interesting for me to just share my story on how I became aesthetic. Yeah, on how I became aesthetic and how I did it without really overthinking too much. The first thing I had to get down was my diet. Growing up, I was very, very, very skinny. When I say very skinny, I mean, the only thing that saved me was my height. But if you looked at people my age, I was really, really skinny compared to them. Most of them were bigger than me, had more muscle than me, even more fat than me. I just didn't eat enough. I'll just say tailoring down on your diet would be the best thing you can do. If you're an ectomorph, if you're skinny, if you're actually skinny like me, just going to want to eat as much as you can, work out as much as you can, go into a bulk phase, stay in a calorie surplus for about a year or two, in a big calorie surplus. So if you're about 5'11" or 6 foot, you want to be at around 2.5 to 3,000 calories every day. On the days that you're working out, you should be at about 3,000 calories. And on the days that you're not working out, be at about 2.5 to 2.7. That way, you're actually always putting on a bit of mass and, you're just overall more filled up. Pause. Pause. But yeah, like you actually fill up your frame, So diet is by far the most important thing. You can go to the gym all you want, but if you don't have more food than you're actually burning at the gym, you're actually cutting down into muscle. Don't train fasted. Stupid. That is stupid. Mainly because your brain will now send signals to your body to say, look, guys, we don't have any fuel. Let's burn into the most efficient thing we have right now, which will be muscle most of the times, because you don't really have any fat on you because you're skinny. So yeah, don't be skinny fat. It's okay for you to look inaesthetic for a while, but the main thing is that you actually eat more than you need to for a while, for about a year or two, and then go ahead and cut down when you need to. Seasonal cutting. I'll make a full guide on that part alone, on like the diet part of it alone. But remember, for you to actually track down your diet, have a good 3 meals. If you think eating the same meals every day will get boring, alternate it and have a good 6 meals. So know that on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you're going to eat this food. And then on Thursdays, or whatever you want, just mix it up. But make sure you have certain foods with certain calories. Preferably have about 1,000 calories a meal or 750 calories a meal. That way you're always hitting your calories and you have enough protein in. And make sure it's the same meals every day. Like I said, if you think you'll get bored from the same meals every day, have alternative meals, but with the same macros, with the same calories and the same protein. It's not the same food, you won't get bored. And that way you still manage to actually get your calories in. By far, the best thing you can do for yourself is get a V-taper. Now, the second thing I noticed that gave me an aesthetic physique was getting stronger on the shoulder press, weighted pull-ups, and on the bench press. Now, what this does is actually just build a really, really good V-taper. This is what actually drives girls crazy, in case you didn't know. So the V-taper is basically having a V-taper. It's like an hourglass shape, but for men. Now, why this is important is it actually symbolizes a form of, what do they call it? Primal. It actually symbolizes a form of primal attraction. The V-taper is very, very essential. Get stronger on the shoulder press. So ideally, you want to be increasing your weight every week or every 2 weeks. If you failed, just know you're doing something wrong. Go back to the drawing board, go back and do your analysis. And same as your bench press, you want to be increasing the weight on your bench press every week, every 2 weeks. If you didn't increase your weight every 2 weeks, yeah, you're doing something wrong. Same as weighted pull-ups, you want to get strong as fuck on those. That's what will build your V taper for the most part. After you build that V taper, you'll notice that you'll get a bit more compliments from girls, and it won't just be dudes coming up to you saying, "Oh my goodness, you have a really nice physique." Because I mean, what you have to keep in mind is sometimes the girls just don't want to boost your ego, or they just scared to compliment you, and they'll say things like, "Wow, you've gotten really big." That's that's a compliment. As long as they didn't call you fat, you've got it really big is actually a compliment. Or when you haven't seen someone in a long time and they just look at you and they're like, "Wow, you look so different now." Yeah, compliment. A win is a win. You have to take that. You have to take that. And that way, you're actually doing something right, because you're not just training for the male gaze anymore. You're not training like a bodybuilder. You're not trying to look like Arnold. Arnold is good for bodybuilding, but aesthetically, it's not really that aesthetic. It's not really, it doesn't really have a good aesthetic V taper. The third thing is adding volume on accessory muscles. This is one of the biggest, this is one of the biggest mistakes I made when I was starting off in my gym journey. I didn't put enough volume on my accessory muscles. So I had the V taper, I had the big shoulders, I had good lats, and I had a really good chest. But my arms were lacking. My side delts were lacking as well, because I only did them about once a week. Now, when you add volume to your V taper, you're also going to want to make sure that you up a notch the volume on your accessory muscles. Accessory muscles being your biceps, side delts, might want to do your upper traps as well, and abs. You really want to have as much volume as possible on that. When I say as much volume, I mean, what I did was I went from doing 2 sets of lateral raises into doing 2 sets. I still do 2 sets, but now I alternate where I do 25 reps. So I do 10 reps, switch sides, 10 reps, switch sides, 10 reps, switch sides, 10 reps. And then the last one, I do 5 reps. So within a set, I could argue I have 3 subsets where I do 10 reps. And then after doing the 10 reps, the 10 reps for 2 sets, 2 subsets, and then I do 1 subset of 5 in 1 set. That really made my V taper pop a bit more than I thought it would, and it's been working out well. I'd say it's really essential for you to work on accessory muscles. You don't want to give them too much attention if you don't have that much time. Focus more on just the V taper, on the 3 exercises I've told you to focus on, which is your shoulder press, weighted pull up, and your chest press, your bench press. Also, with that being said, do not do the shoulder press and the chest and the flat chest press on the same session, because it will run into each other. It will be depletion. It won't be a good oversized return. It won't be a good overall return. One day you want, for instance, on a Monday, you want to do your shoulder presses, then on a Friday, you want to do your bench presses. And then you keep it on like that. Instead of doing your normal push-pull, you want to have something like that. And then in the middle, you could have legs. And then you want to keep having PRs with your legs. But nonetheless, fellas, go out there, build an aesthetic body, and always stay winning.